This podcast is sponsored by RSA Rock and Metal Fans Facebook page.
All right, Gibbs 2's Eyes phone. Who's that?
That's Lee. That's our
It's
drummer.
me. Lee.
Right. Lee, how's it going,
hello,
man?
mate.
All right, mate. You?
Yeah, all good. Is anybody else joining us, or is it just the two of you?
There'll be Steve as well. Steve, the guitarist, will be joining us at some point.
So typical of a guitarist to be late. No offense, Lee, but it's usually the drummer that's late.
Well, you know, I'm always on time. You see what I did there?
You're always on time, but never on time.
That's
we
about right.
We rehearse at these business premises, so he's always there before us. So if he's not there, we can't get in. So we're stuffed anyway if the drummer's not there. Usually the bass player that turns up late. Today's not here.
Listen, that's the thing. You know, most bass players just, you can't even get them out of bed.
Yeah, I think that describes Dave perfectly, actually.
So David,
you know it.
David's still sleeping, so he's not gonna join us then.
Dave's playing golf today.
Oh, fuck off! Really?
Yeah.
What's more important,
That's what I said. Yeah.
That's not very rock and roll, is it?
Well, I don't know. I think it might be.
That's the funny thing is it's completely rock and roll nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, they all play, don't they?
Doesn't Alice Cooper play? Alice Cooper's
he does, and he's pretty good at it too.
Yes, I don't know whether Dave's actually playing with Alice, so he could be very rock and roll. Potentially more rock and roll than we are.
Steve, are you in the house?
Steve, are you joining?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Oh, Steve.
Afternoon, Steve. Sounding fantastic, mate.
I've landed.
Brilliant.
You don't know
How are we all?
but you've landed somewhere. All right, guys. Well, fuck the formal introduction. Fuck it. Yeah, no, might as well just. The Innocents from the UK. Nice to speak to you, lads. Eventually, nice one.
Fantastic.
Good to hear you.
CJC Promotions and so on, Catherine, for putting us in touch. It's great to chat to you guys, and I've been to the website and I've listened to the album several times, and it's a grower.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well,
People seem to like
the
it.
thing with the shower is it only lasts for so long, but a grower, it gets there.
Yeah.
It lasts longer. So
We have a lot of
Playing the long
different people. Yeah, we have a lot of different people that have said that to us, actually. So they really enjoy listening to it again and again. They play it in their cars and then, when they're out jogging or whatever. And I think it is a bit of a grower. Yeah.
I think what I enjoyed about it is that as I was listening to the album, and again, it's exactly the same, repetition, listening to it again. It's one of those albums that you sort of go back to the beginning and you start again. It's not one of those albums where you choose one or two songs and go, let's listen to that again. I find myself listening to the whole album again and again and again.
That's good news. That's good news. That's what we were going for.
But that's okay. That's
It's difficult though.
The point of being in a band is to produce something people want to listen to over and over again. But there is something about the album that is, other than what I said already, it's a grower. The album from track 1 all the way down to track 9, it just gets better and better.
That's very good of you to say so.
No, I'm not trying to be a fucking conceited fucking arsehole. I'm just speak my mind. Yeah. And by the way, you guys can swear if you want to. It's quite safe. You can
okay, that's acceptable on this channel. That's good.
Oh fuck yeah! You can say whatever you want, man.
Because we do.
It's your words, not mine.
Particularly Steve. Steve's real potty mouth. So.
No, not having that. Fuck yeah.
Who's got the pottiest mouth?
It's got to be me. It has got to be me, actually. Yeah.
You know what I find?
I kind of explode in these.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, it's if something's not quite right, just got to say it. Don't hold back. Get it out. Yeah, that's it.
There's something about guitarists and swearing. I don't know what it is.
But you'll get a fucking thing wrong. That's what it is.
Oh God!
I love the English accent, regardless of where you're from, Midlands, whatever. It doesn't matter. I just love it. brilliant. Absolutely love it. There's just something so fucking great about the swear words that come out. It's like when I hear people.
Yeah, they're real. Yeah, they're compelling, isn't it? It's like we really mean it.
Yeah, it's not just empty promises when they say "fuck off." You are going to actually fuck off.
You really mean it, yeah.
Okay, so but let's go back to the album then, Rise.
Yeah.
Andy.
Yes.
The vocalist.
That's me.
How hard you got to squeeze your nuts to get that high?
I do it for him.
There's usually a
Don't give all the secrets away.
Don't give the trade secrets away. You know, you don't want other people to start making albums. Yeah, fucking hell.
Oh man, sorry, Andy. You answer. I'm going to keep the fuck up.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, quite hard. It's funny because I mean I'm sort of that sort of very high head voice technique I've sort of seemed to have perfected over the years. Really, I started off sort of trying to emulate singers. You know, I mean, great singers listen to every day, like Freddie Mercury. I always wanted to be Freddie Mercury, and I wanted to be Bono, and I wanted to be Ronnie James Dio, and there were sort of all sort of aspects of those type of singers. I think that I've, rather than emulate now, I sort of take on board their the good parts of their. Well, I say the good parts. I mean, all fantastic singers, and just try and sort of bring that to, probably not consciously, but everything influences you over the years, doesn't it? And I've always sort of gravitated towards people that could get really high. So standing on a few stools on my time to try and reach the notes and finally get there.
Well, I was when I put the albums on, okay, here we go. It's good driving rock. Yeah, okay, I can get into this. And then you started from track one. I was like, fuck me, that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was Midlands. I'm thinking rough and ready and fucking angry, gruff vocals or something.
Yeah.
And clean, crisp, and high notes and low notes and growls. But I was like, what the fuck? You got to be kidding me. There's a bit of everything. So I mean that obviously goes hand in hand with what you're saying about you try and emulate. Well, not emulate, but you listen to certain vocalists and so on.
Yeah.
But what I like about the album mostly is that, and this is for Steve really, is that it's very much rhythm driven.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of where I started. I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of Status Quo. I'm not sure if you have them over there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we live in mud huts and we have wild animals running around.
And that's exactly how it should be. But listen, mate, it's one of those things. I was never one of these people that wanted to play a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
My sort of early guitar work would have been influenced by sort of Rick Parfitt, George Harrison, that sort of person. Sort of people who could keep the chops together, let everybody else be flashy.
Yeah.
But then you start branching out into sort of like AC/DC and Def Leppard, and it's through the 80s, all those fantastic rock bands, underneath every flash arsehole of a guitarist was this absolute rock. So I think when you get to sort of like that song structure, if you've got the driving
there we go, you're back.
Underbelly of the piece, it kind of carries the rest of it over, and especially when you've got a vocalist like Andy. Yeah, so I was just saying, when I drive from rhythm first, because when you've got that underpinning the piece and you've got someone like Andy with the vocals who can put all sorts of melodies over it, the rest is kind of, it happens, it has to be that way. And a single guitarless band as well, I've got to sort of chop between rhythm, lead, riff, fill, and I'm not very good at the lead bits. I much prefer to play the rhythm. It's kind of where it's my roots, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I get it. Yeah, because that's the first thing that I thought about when I was listening to the album. I was like, okay, this is very, very, very rhythm driven. Nice drums and keeping the rhythm going and so on. So yeah, I mean, as I was going through the album and I was heading towards track 9, I was going, I hear things that I haven't heard in an album in a very long time. I'm more of a classic rock, hard rock, you know, that kind of vibe. And I was going, I'm hearing things like the Sex Pistols. I'm hearing Nirvana. I'm hearing two of my favorite bands of all time, TerrorVision and The Cult.
Oh, mate, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
We've been classed to get into Cult before. I mean, we're going back about 10 years, and none of us could see it at the time because we'd never written from a specific standpoint. And one of my old mates, you know, she said to me, "Very cultish," and I thought, really? But yeah, I will take that. Listen, they're massive. You know, it's a massive cult.
You know, Billy Duffy is a rhythm machine. But saying that though,
yeah.
Again, I'm hearing AC/DC as well, as you said earlier, and I'm thinking Malcolm Young. I mean, that man was the rhythm master.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but to
Classic.
me, what I loved about the album was the smacks of TerrorVision everywhere, all over that album. And I don't mean you're emulating them. It's just there is something about TerrorVision that was all of their albums were so rhythm based. They were not flashy leads, as Steve was saying earlier. You know, you guys, you don't do the whole flashy lead thing. You let some other dude do that. But rhythm is everything. And TerrorVision were a rhythm band that I fucking love. And when I heard this album, that's why I went back, and like I said earlier, I went back and played the album again and again. I was like, this is just so fucking good. It's something that is lacking in the industry today because everybody wants to be in the limelight and the big flashy fucking whatever, you know. Like you guys, you know, this brings me to another question. Oh, fuck me, I've got so many questions in my head, it's ridiculous.
We're not going anywhere, Cliff.
Good man. The pub ain't open, is it? Yeah, fuck it.
No. Even if it's open, only one of us can go in at a time.
It's opening then. Is he going to get some git that's going to go down to the pub and just hog it for himself?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It'd probably be Steve, wouldn't it?
It would be.
I bring the pub to home. I bring my own, so I've got a garage for the stuff. So
there you go. You see, a man who thinks is a man who's got a plan.
Thinking ahead, you see.
So yeah, I was saying that. Oh fuck! What was I saying? Oh, there was something about the Midlands that produces bands that are rhythm based. What is it about the Midlands?
Don't honestly know.
It was TerrorVision are from the Midlands, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
They're singers from Leicester, isn't he? I believe.
Yeah. Tony's from the Midlands. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't answer that question. I mean, you're like Black Sabbath as well, going right back.
Well, there you go. You see now.
So
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, fuck, of course, Judas Priest. I mean, you know, the godfathers of metal and Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell.
I think it's because the Midlands is so shit. You got to do something else.
You need to escape from it all. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I'm not from the Midlands. I mean, I've been around a bit. You know.
Well, don't tell the girls
sorts of places. You know? So the wife's out of the room, so don't worry.
Yeah, she's got all your beer, mate, down in the garage. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch what I say then.
But
it's a good question, though. There is something in this maelstrom of the Midlands that sort of has to produce something, whether it's a distraction, whether it's a reaction even to some of the things we do.
Do you think the industry is lacking what you guys are producing right now? Because it certainly feels like it to me when I listen to the album.
Yeah,
there doesn't seem to be any bands at all, does there?
No, there doesn't.
There doesn't any bands coming out at all at the moment. You know, especially rock bands.
Yeah, well, decent rock bands. I mean, there's plenty of bands out there. They're just fucking shit.
Yeah.
We didn't like to say that. We'll let you say that, Trev.
No. You guys, they're good bands because you got to play along with them. But there are a lot of bands out there that are shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's
Andy, that's very politically correct.
I think there is a massive shortage of good bands out there.
I think there's a huge shortage of bands that provide a good quality show and provide something that is rhythm based, because like I said earlier, a lot of bands are out there to be flashy and to be number one, and everybody wants to be number one, but you know what I mean, they want to be top of the fucking pops and all sorts of shit like that.
I also think people are trying to out metal, and there's a lot of people trying to out screaming. And actually they get into this sort of circling the drain motion where they just actually it's gone from people that can do it really fucking well will make a living out of it. Everybody else sounds like they're being castrated. And it makes a right racket, to be fair. And I've been at some gigs where I've been, you know, sat at the back and it's so loud you can't understand a fucking word of the singer. You can't hit the melody. You can't get the groove. And I think, am I this fucking old? Am I just not getting it? But no, there is such a dropout. There is such a dropout, and it's worrying, actually.
Well, I think the big worry is obviously COVID has played its part in allowing people that should not be in the business be in the business.
Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. That's not something I've really thought about before, but yeah, that's an interesting
point. It doesn't take much to record an album these days. Well, you know.
No, it doesn't. No, you're quite right, yeah.
You know, the press of a fucking button and there you go. You know, you've got your drum track or whatever. I have a problem with programmed instruments.
Yeah, I think but yeah, I think probably as a songwriting tool, all right. If you sat in a room on your own and you just need a bit of a rhythm, but I'd rather sit in a room with Lee, to be honest, you know, and say,
cheers, mate,
because then he'll bang in something that's unexpected. So, you know, you get to time signature and then Lee will go, oh, how about this? Boom. And, oh yeah, that's different. Right, that gives you a different idea of where to go with the song. It's like when we write songs, it's almost like channeling. It's almost it's an epiphany in a way because we all sort of seem to jump in together. I think I'm right in saying none of us actually read and write music. But when the song actually happens, that's kind of the magic moment, you know, where we all kind of jump in and everybody seems to know instinctively where to go with it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've sort of felt with the band since I joined, because I was the final piece in the jigsaw.
How did the Innocents come to be then?
Oh well, I'll let Leo or Steve go with that, because I think. You guys formed the band initially, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We were, me and Steve were playing in another band, and we were just having fun. Then the singer left, and so we looked for a bass player and a singer. Put some ads on eBay, etc. Found Andy, found Dave, who I've known since I was a kid, and yeah, it also came from there, really. It was just a bit of real luck, because Andy wasn't even looking at the time, just saw the advert, and it was me. I've known him since I was sort of 17, so yeah, it was brilliant. Then we got Dave on board. Well, Dave before Andy, but it was, yeah, I mean, I've known Dave since I was at school, I was about 3 years old, so yeah, it just fell together, and it was almost fate, really, because we shouldn't have really found each other that way, but we did, and me and Steve have been playing for a while, so yeah, just went from strength to strength, really.
How long have you and Steve been sort of grouped together, as it were, you know, trying to form a band?
Oh God, is it about 15 years now, Steve?
Wow.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be, because it was kind of Phoenix from the ashes. Because one of my old bands was falling apart at the time. I got a band together just as a sort of a joke with one of the guys I worked with. We built this nice little following up, but everybody sort of went their separate ways with work commitments, family commitments. And I put an ad on eBay saying drummer wanted, thinking, I don't know any other way to get a drummer, because I've tried every other route and I keep getting all these losers turn up. Within 5 minutes, Lee texts me, well, hello mate, come on, let's have a go then. And we've sort of carried it through. It just happenstance that actually everybody in the band now, apart from myself, used to be in a band together X number of years ago. So actually, from one of my bands starting up, I'm the new boy in this band.
Yeah. So I mean, how long ago was this then? That sort of like the beginnings, or the, you know, the foundations of the Innocence started then?
So it's got to be 15. It's got to be 15 years.
Fucking hell!
A long time.
God.
I don't really want to admit that, Trevor. That doesn't sound really feasible, but it's true.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and you know, before this band, you know, I'd been in a band for like 2 years or get chucked out.
So I mean, what
after 6 months, you know, it was. Again.
So what happened then? How come that we don't have any previous recordings or anything like that then?
We were very prolific with writing stuff, not too prolific with actually going out and presenting it to the wider public. I think that's
But Andy, why is that? Is it a financial thing? Is it a time thing? What is it?
I think it's a time and family sort of thing, really. You know, I mean, all the guys, apart from myself, all the guys are married and have kids and have other commitments. And I think it was just kind of, well, you know, this is good. We've got a good thing going, and we really, really enjoy what we're doing. And whilst we're doing it, we might as well continue to enjoy it. And then, really, it was Steve that initiated it. I really think he said, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I think Steve said, I really think we should just go in the studio and record some tracks and see what happens. And so we all said, and we tried, you know, we've done it before, but we decided this time we were going to go find what Steve actually found, Deadline Studios, guy called Adam Ellis, who did the engineering and produced the stuff with us.
Right.
And we listened to the stuff that he was producing, and it was really, really good. And he'd worked with people like, we heard of Diesel Park West. They had a couple of hits in the 80s. They were from Leicester. He does a lot of stuff with those guys.
Right, okay.
And so, you know, professional setup.
Yeah.
So we listened to some of the stuff that he'd done, and we all said, yeah, okay, let's chuck some money in and let's go and record some tracks. So we did that before Christmas last year, recorded, I think, 5 tracks. Then we had another chat after, you know, we come out with a product that we all sort of generally liked, and said, well, I think we need to go in and perhaps tweak it a little bit. Why don't we record some more tracks at the same time? So we did that. So we got the 9 tracks, and then I think we did another couple of day session where we just did a few sort of production tweaks and some overdubs and stuff. And that was pretty much it.
It's meant to be an EP first, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We decided, let's just do an EP, 3-4 songs, get something out there, and see what the reaction is, and see where we go. And I think we were all so surprised by the noise we made, because we've never heard ourselves on that sort of level before. You know, it's different when you're in the room with, you know, 200 watts blaring through your ear holes. Yeah. But actually, to hear it on a product, we kind of looked at each other and went, shit, we've got to do an album. And you know, we're not exactly bereft of material. We've got, you know, we were talking about this last week. Actually, we've got enough material for another 2 albums. Seriously. Ready to go, ready to rock. And we just looked at each other, like, just hands up, who wants these songs? Everybody went, yeah, let's just do it. And, you know, it was just so natural, the whole process. And actually, to be in a room with the other 3 idiots in this band is a fucking pleasure and a privilege. Because, you know, there's a synergy that goes on that just allows us to bounce, doesn't it? We just bounce from one thing to another.
Yeah.
Well,
we feed off each other, don't we?
Yeah, it's extremely prevalent in the album, that's for sure. I'm all about rhythm, and that album just fucking rhythm is beautiful. So COVID comes along and then fucks everybody's plans in the arse.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, we got the gig, the album launch gig, just when lockdown happened, and it was literally we were at the beginning of the week before the gig, and you know, there were rumblings of pubs and venues being shut down, and I think we had a rehearsal on the Monday, and we said, what do we do? We play it by ear and see how it goes. And even at that point, we weren't sure whether we were doing it or not. And then I think by sort of midweek Thursday, it was, no, you can't do it. You know, there's no way. We said we would have to be at least seemed to be complying with the regulations. But by the time it got to the middle of the week, that was kind of full lockdown. So that was out of the question. So we were screwed really. But fortunately, we've also sort of, I think through months of, did we not rehearse for, was it 3 or 4 months? I think it was 4 months we didn't rehearse for.
4 months.
Yeah.
But we've still been sort of like keeping it real, keeping I keep listening to the album just to make sure it's still me.
Yeah. We FaceTimed as well, didn't we? We FaceTimed as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we did. We did these kind of things. So we did sort of like FaceTime meetings and stuff, and just sort of kept the momentum. I think it. The momentum's dropped for everybody. I think not just ourselves, but worldwide. But yeah, we kept in touch, and then finally, when the restrictions were slightly eased off, we managed to sort of do socially distanced rehearsals. Yeah. We did a couple in the car park actually outside the rehearsal room. A couple of sort of semi-acoustic jams outside, and then got a bit of
very rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was banging on a tub. Just a big motoring tub.
Photographic evidence.
That was brilliant. That was really good.
The thing is though, how do you keep yourself now prevalent with lockdown? Because I've been on your Facebook page and you guys haven't done any sort of like live streaming or anything like that, right?
Yeah, no, we haven't sort of taken advantage of that really. We've spoken to a couple of people, at least I've spoken to a guy who wanted us to do a live streaming outside show, but it sort of went a bit quiet. So it's something we probably need to be looking at going forward. But hopefully, next year we'll be able to actually play in front of people again, which would be good.
Right. So 2021 is going to be the year where you're going to actually do a album launch, proper album launch.
Hopefully.
God hopes so.
Yeah, well, in the way it's fucking going right now, I don't know.
Well, you just don't know, do you?
You can't second guess it, can you?
No. And you can't plan anything either. So you don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a fuck up.
But I think, we were all. Sorry, everything's fading in and out. I think when we got out of 2019, I think there was a sort of a look between the four of us to say 2020 is the year. We were going to put it all together. Don't care about the cost. We're just going to fucking go for it, and have a blast doing it, And we don't care really what the initial reaction is, but we think we've got a product. And then all this shit came along. It was like, I can't get over this. You couldn't have written it. It's been so long in the pipeline, and it's almost like the dud firework. You think, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But 2021, we've got to be positive. We've got to look forward. There's nothing stopping us actually now writing more music, but actually we've got enough music for people to get 2 double albums and be like fucking Guns N' Roses releasing Use Your Illusion again. And no one liked that fucker either. So
I'm glad you fucking said it, not me. There goes that opening slot for Guns N' Roses. Oh,
yeah. Damn.
They don't like the fucker either, so don't worry.
No, but it's one of those things where everybody's struggling, and down to the artists starting out to artists who are actually signed, sealed, delivered. There's no easy way for anybody in this. So, we could do live streaming, but who are we going to reach? How are we going to reach them? And I think one of the questions for us as a band at the moment is, where is our audience? And that's a difficult question at the moment, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon your 2021 is going to be the year of rebuilding.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to be going through that, which is really shitty. But we're fast running out of time. We've got less than 7 minutes left. So, Steve, I want to ask you, what's your rig rundown? What are you playing on?
Okay, so home built guitar.
Oh, okay.
I use so I put guitars together, which is sort of single humbucker. They're kind of a la Eddie Van Halen single stuff, but it's not in a rip off of that. It's just like a nice sunburst Strat with one gold pickup in it, which is a JB in the bridge. I've got Engel Screamer little combo. I mix and match between that and a Crate Club 30, which is a really old amp from about 1991.
Wow, okay.
Nobody really liked them, but they sound absolutely awesome. They are sort of old school, proper valve amp. I use a little bit of effect going in the back just for delay. Right. But really, I try to keep the rig as simple and as clean as I can. So I don't.
So I was going to say, did you use the same rig in recording?
No, I was. I took everything with me, but when we got into the studio, Adam showed me a few presets he could do with his what was it, a rack mount kit. Okay. And really, it took less than a minute for me to find the sound I wanted. Wow. You know, it wasn't a case of, I want more of this, want that, do this, do that. It was a case of, that's nice, open, clean. I think he heard some of the riffs we were playing and got, this sounds good. And in the control room, he was like, that's right. And I was like, okay, a bit more gain would be nice, just because I use a lot of pinched harmonics and I like that sort of smooth edge. But literally, if I say we spent 5 minutes on it, I'm exaggerating. So it really was a plug and play. But that's kind of my mantra, if you like. If you can't plug and play, you either can't play your instrument or you don't know the song.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
So we try to keep it as clean as possible.
Well, it's prevalent, and I've got it, and it works, and that's a good thing.
I appreciate that.
Lee, what's your rig rundown? What you playing on?
Well, I've got a huge double bass Mapex maple burl kit. It's my favourite drummer is the legendary Neil Peart, along with Keith Moon. Right. So I've got a kit of that sort of size, and I love, working out all the drum parts for Rush or Mike Portnoy, from Dream Theater, all those sort of guys. So that's my kit really. And unfortunately, when we did the album, hopefully the next album is slightly different. I had to use the house kit with some additional ones of mine. Right. But it was great fun anyway, and we got a great sound, so I'm happy with that.
Well, guys, we've got hardly any time left. I just wanted to firstly thank CJC Promotions, Catherine, for getting me in touch with Andy to set up this chat, and I'm very pleasantly surprised. I really, really, really like the album. Really, that is just so far up my fucking alley. I feel like a whore.
What a phrase!
Or should I say, I'm an innocent whore?
That's excellent. We need more innocent whores.
That's cool.
We need more innocent whores. Absolutely.
Really appreciate your feedback on that, because it's absolute great to hear that somebody else has heard it and likes it.
Absolutely,
that's all we ever wanted.
I'll plug it as much as I can. All the description and the links, and it will be in the description below, so people can go and follow your social media and to the website and do the necessary. And is the album out on all the digital platforms?
It will be. It will be. Within the next day or two. We've released a few singles first, but the album will be with us soon.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that, and I'm gonna choose. What was the last track that I said I was gonna? I've got a Spotify playlist that I like to have of the bands that I've had a chat with. I choose one song from the album, and I'm gonna choose "Whose Side Are You On?"
Great song, great song.
Good choice. And I'll tell you why I've chosen that, purely because it reminds me of The Cult. It's a good mixture. It's a good mixture of The Cult and TerrorVision, and that just fucking makes my nipples hard.
Oh, bless you, man. Bless you.
Well,
that's
good.
Wow,
Good.
I've got all sorts of images here, mate.
I will carry that with me to the grave.
Oh, fucking terrible thought. Right, guys. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out on a Saturday to have a chat with me, and you guys are fucking awesome. And when you next do a show or an EP, spread the word on the Facebook page and get in touch with me, and I'll share it as well and do whatever is necessary. And if you have another recording coming up, EP, single, whatever, just give me a shout and let's chat again.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be great. Thanks for having us on, Trev.
Awesome,
Yeah, thanks.
man.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem, man.
Brilliant. Bless you.
Righty.
Thanks ever so much.
Right.
Take care.
Cheers.
Stay safe, Trace. All the best.